Welcome to Reproductive System. So let's start with answering the question, what is reproductive system? Based on Cleveland Clinic definition of it, it means a collection of internal and external organs in both male and female that work together for the purpose of procreating. Due to its vital role in the survival of the species, many scientists argue that the reproductive is the most important systems in the entire body. In other words, creating babies. And there are many ways in making one, and the basic of them all is through sexual intercourse. Are we really aware of its function? How does our reproductive system work? In order to explain how it functions, let's proceed first with anatomy of the reproductive system, and let's start with the male. The male reproductive can be subdivided into four categories. First is the male gonads, which is the testis that resides in the scrotum outside the abdominopelvic cavity. It has exocrine or sperm producing function and endocrine or testosterone producing functions. The second category is the male duct system. It contains epididymis, the location where sperm maturation occurs, and it contracts to push the sperm into the vas deferens, which carries sperm from epididymis to ejaculatory tract, and urethra, a common passageway for sperm and urine. Fun fact: the term urogenital is most applicable to men because urogenital is a combination of urinary and genital, which, which are commonly observed in the male reproductive duct urethra. The third category is the accessory glands, which is seminal vesicle, a sac-like structure near the base of the bladder. The prostate gland is a single large gland that surrounds the urethra, and it provides a propulsive force needed to ejaculate semen. And the bulbourethral gland, which is inferior to the prostate gland, stimulated to secrete a mucoid substance which neutralizes the pH of urine and provides lubrication. The fourth one is the external genitalia. It is composed of scrotum that regulates the sperm and the penis, which consists of erectile tissue and also serves as elimination for urine. Erectile tissue provides a way to become rigid to serve as penetrating device during sexual intercourse. Now, let's proceed with the anatomy of the female reproductive system. The female reproductive has three categories. The first one is the female gonads, which is the ovary that is located against the lateral wall of the pelvis, and they produce a female sex cells, exocrine function, and hormones, endocrine function. The second category is external genitalia, which has the labia majora and minora, clitoris, urethral, and vaginal opening. Female duct system comprises of uterine tube, also known as fallopian tube, which extends from vicinity of an ovary to the uterus. It conducts oocytes or embryo to the uterus by peristalsis and cellular reaction. The uterus is placed where embryo implants and develop. Its mucosis loss off each month in menses unless an embryo has become embedded in it. It contracts rhythmically during the birth of a baby. The vagina is passageway between the uterus and the body exterior that allows the baby or the menstrual flow to leave the body. It It also receives the penis and the semen during sexual intercourse. And now, let's proceed to each functions. In male reproductive system, there are two functions: the spermatogenesis or sperm production, which respond to follicle-stimulating hormone at puberty, and the testosterone, which also respond to luteinizing hormone. Later, we will discuss this hormone. Spermatogenesis involves meiosis, a special nuclear division that halves the chromosomal number and resulting spermatids, and the additional process called spermiogenesis is necessary for the production of functional male sperm. Testosterone production is produced by interstitial cells of test. It is also called the appearance of the male secondary sex characteristic and is necessary for sperm maturation. In the female reproductive system, there are three functions. First is the oogenesis, which is production of female sex cells, and it occurs in ovarian follicle, which are activated at puberty by FSH and LH to mature and eject oocytes, or ovulation on cyclic basis. The female egg or ovum is formed only if sperm penetrates the secondary oocytes. In females, meiosis produces only one functional ovum plus three non-functional polar bodies, as opposed to the four functional sperm per meiosis produced by males. Second is hormone production. Estrogens are produced by ovarian follicle in response to FSH. Progesterone produced in response to LH, the main product of corpus luteum. Estrogen stimulate development of female reproductive secondary sex characteristics. The third one is menstrual cycle. It concerns in the changes in the endometrium in response to fluctuating blood levels of ovarian hormones. The phases are menstrual phase, proliferative phase, and secretory phase. The first hormone is luteinizing hormone. It is a heterodimeric glycoprotein. Each monomeric unit is a glycoprotein molecule with one alpha and one beta subunit make the full functional protein. The alpha subunit is similar in all glycoprotein hormones, but its beta unit consists of only 120 amino acids that confers its specific biologic action and is responsible for the specificity of the interaction with LH receptor. The carbohydrate part consists of different oligosaccharides, and the biologic half-life of LH is 20 minutes, and during the reproductive years, typical levels of LH are between 1 to 20, and in males over 18 years of age, the reference ranges have been estimated to be 1.8 to 8.6. Follicle-stimulating hormone. It is a gonadotropin, a glycoprotein polypeptide hormone. FSH is synthesized and secreted by gonadotropic cells of the anterior pituitary gland and regulates the development, growth, pubertal maturation, and reproductive process of the body. In women, this hormone stimulates the growth of ovarian follicles in the ovary before the release of the egg from one follicle at ovulation. It also increases estradiol production. In men, follicle-stimulating hormones acts on the Sertoli cells of the testes to stimulate sperm production. Pregnancy and embryonic development. An oocyte is fertilizable for up to 24 hours or 1 day after release. Sperm are viable within female reproductive tract for up to 72 hours or 3 days. The reason why millions of sperms are ejaculated during sexual intercourse is that the vagina is acidic in nature, and there is a possibility that lots of sperm will die in that factor. The other factor is that egg cell has corona radiata, and it will break if hundreds of sperm will release their acrosomal enzymes following sperm penetration. Secondary oocytes completes meiosis too. Then the ovum and sperm nuclei fuse or fertilization. If fertilization occurs, embryonic development begins immediately. Cleavage, a rapid series of mitotic division without intervening growth, begins with a zygote and ends with blastocyst. By day 14 after ovulation, young embryo has implanted the endometrium and the placenta is being formed. Human chorionic gonadotropin released by blastocyst maintains hormone production of the corpus luteum, preventing menses until the placenta assumes its endocrine rule. The placenta serves as respiratory, nutritive, excretory needs of the embryo and produce hormones of the pregnancy. All major organ systems have been laid down by 8 weeks, and 9 weeks the embryo is called a fetus. Growth and tissue or organ specialization are the major events of the fetal period. A pregnant woman has increased respiratory, circulatory, and urinary demands placed on her system by developing fetus. Good nutrition is necessary to produce a healthy baby. Childbirth includes a series of events called labor. It is initiated by several factors, but most importantly by rising levels of oxytocin and prostaglandins, which promote vigorous uterine contractions. The three stages of labor are dilation, expulsion, and placental. So let's have a recap about the reproductive system. According to Cleveland Clinic, it means a collection of internal and external organs in both a male and female that work together for the purpose of procreating. In other words, creating babies. And the basic of them all is through sexual intercourse. And now let's proceed with the anatomy of the reproductive system, the male part. It can be subdivided into four categories. The first one is the male gonads, which has the testes. The second category is the male duct system, which contains epididymis, vas deferens, and urethra. Third category is the accessory glands, which has the seminal vesicle, prostate gland, bulbourethral gland, and the fourth one is the external genitalia, which compose of scrotum and penis. And now let's proceed with the female reproductive system. Female reproductive system has only three categories. The first one is the female gonads, which is the ovary, and the external genitalia, which has labia majora and minora, clitoris, urethral, and vaginal openings. The third one is the female duct system, comprises of uterine or fallopian tube, and uterus and vagina. Let's proceed with the function of the male reproductive system. The two functions are the following: spermatogenesis or sperm production, which responds in the follicle-stimulating hormone, and testosterone production is produced by interstitial cells, and it is also called the appearance of the male secondary sex characteristic and is necessary for sperm maturation. Testosterone, by the way, is responding to LH. While in female reproductive system, it has three functions. First is the oogenesis, which is production of female sex cells. Second is the hormone production. Estrogen is produced by ovarian follicle in response to FSH. Progesterone produced in response to LH, the main product of corpus luteum. Estrogen stimulates development of female reproductive secondary sex characteristics. And the third one is menstrual cycle, which concern the changes in the endometrium in response to fluctuating blood levels of ovarian hormones. And the phases are menstrual phase, proliferative phase, and secretory phase. And if fertilization does not occur, the phases are repeated about 28 days. The two hormones are the luteinizing hormone and the FSH, or follicle-stimulating hormone. After this, we will give you a question and you will answer it. Thank you.